Crown Chakra Expansion. October 16, 2014. In this time of heightened consciousness and awareness on the part of the conscious community and, eventually, all of humanity, certain bold phenomena will grace you at times that are related to your ongoing ascension and your receptivity to the higher vibration descending onto your minds and hearts. If you're particularly attuned to this phenomena, many of you will begin to notice strange and interesting things in your meditations that are related to your ongoing ascension. Interesting happenings and circumstances may greet you at times that leave you wondering what exactly you're experiencing or going through, and we're here to let you know that it's all for the greater good. Even the most bizarre ascension-related experiences you go through are all part of your ongoing ascent into a higher frame of consciousness, and in order to experience something paradigm-shattering, you'll have to be open to having experiences that are very far outside of your conscious perception. If you can ready yourselves to experience bold ascension-related phenomena that'll vastly expand your individual and collective paradigm, you'll greet the things you witness and experience with a greater degree of ease and readiness than if you enter into them unprepared. Call on Spirit. Always call on Spirit for the assistance you require with navigating your difficult ascension journeys, and know that as long as you call on us for inspiration, insight, or energy, we'll be with you. We're here for every receptive God spark who's ready to enter the next, purer phase of consciousness and see what it has to offer, and we'll always offer our energy and insight in hopes that it helps you navigate your earthly journeys with the greatest degree of joy and ease possible. We want you to enjoy yourselves and your existence on the earth, and we want you to know that your enjoyment's very important to your planetary ascension. Even though we understand that many of you feel inspired to work as hard as you can to bring yourselves and the planet around you into the light, one of the best ways to raise the collective vibration is to get out and enjoy yourselves when you could otherwise work away. The work you're doing is very important and needed, but the time you can spend with your family is also very important, and the level of joy you can collectively feel from doing things that are unrelated to your work but still fill you with a sense of love and wholeness is greater than we can express, through this or any other channel. The best advice we can offer many of you at present is to simply detach. Allow your ego-driven perception of the reality around you to fade and be replaced with the slow yet steady descent of a pure, loving perception, because this'll strengthen your ability and willingness to be an infinite conduit of love for those around you to draw off of in every moment. You have the potential to create a wealth of needed and important changes simply by enjoying yourselves and your lives, and the upliftment you can find in this transformative time will motivate many of you to start offering yourselves to the restoration of consciousness in whatever ways work best for you. Your ability to find and remain in a lasting, loving space hinges on your willingness to claim the sacred upliftment you now have the opportunity to feel, and your work or anything else you do is never intended to drag on your sense of enjoyment. Quite the opposite, you're meant to feel inspired and passionate about every bit of work you do to bring yourselves and your planet the light. You aren't meant to slave away at your respective missions in bringing your planet into the light. You're meant to feel as passionate about this work as possible. Let love, and the willingness to do whatever you feel inspired to do, which comes with it, re-enter your hearts when you're stuck with the draining emotions of the ego. Let brimming joy replace the dull tiredness and depletion that tend to overtake the minds and hearts of so many of you, and let yourselves see that despite the ego's attempts to convince you otherwise, you are free. You're free and sovereign beings who are meant to use your freedom for positive and progressive purposes, and you can use your inalienable freedom to embrace your developing creativity and help others find an immense sense of joy, positivity, and upliftment because of the spiritually inspired things you decide to do. In doing this, you'll enable them to begin contributing to your planetary ascension in immense and extraordinary ways, and with this said, we'll happily answer the question we've been given today. Question. In addition to the crown chakra, I have had many metaphysical experiences in my life, including contact with both galactics and gnomes, orbs and other unidentifiable creatures. This is different. The latest one has been that I sense something directly over my head, over my crown chakra I guess. That is hard to describe. I want to say it is a few feet over my head, but you know that's hard to really describe too. Also, it's about as big as a candy bar with an opening like an envelope. When I go up to it, I feel my vibration rise. The strength of the sensation and awareness comes and goes. I'm not sure what it is or why it's there, but I'm comfortable with it. Any ideas about what it may be? This question, which we and our scribe anticipated, is the reason we gave the introduction we did for this message, and we'll repeat that certain bold phenomena will begin to be experienced as you continue to lighten and refine your vibration. Even though our scribe has understandably chosen to distance himself from explanations and predictions that have to do with your ascension, we'll affirm the words of various channeled sources of late who've told you that you're in a certain phase of your ascension at present, and as your years tick on, the phases will begin to intensify. The phase you're currently in is allowing for many of you to begin witnessing things you would have never thought or expected, things you may seek advice and guidance about from a channeled source or a seeker who's started to experience the same things. You, dear reader, witnessed what we'll call an addition or expansion to your crown chakra. The energies on Earth are intensifying exponentially, and this is resulting in an occasional need for your crown chakra to expand and take in a greater and purer amount of energy than it has so far. Your crown chakra isn't the only one in need of certain upgrades at times, and as you continue to greet various energetic and celestial events that'll turn up the purity and quantity of energy you receive through your sun and your moon, but that's another discussion for another time, you'll find that many of your chakras begin to accommodate certain energetic expansions. Exactly what you witnessed is difficult to describe with earthly words, but we'll do our best with the limited expressional arsenal we have at our disposal. Your crown chakra was in need of an upgrade, and you subconsciously decided you were ready to witness this upgrade as it was being put into effect. If you try hard enough, you may notice that you can experience the rush of energy you first experienced when you perceived this crown chakra expansion, as we'll call it. Especially if you sit down to meditate, you'll feel this energetic phenomenon at practically any time of day, and this is because you and plenty of others are now expanding and taking in a greater amount of love than you would have ever thought or expected. In fact, even before you experienced this upgrade, you still brought through a wealth of pure energy that you'd be very surprised if you witnessed yourself bringing through from an outside perspective. If you could see just how pure your ability to be a conduit for the light is becoming, and we mean this for our reader and everyone else out there, you'd be very surprised. You'd see that you truly are light workers and energy conduits in the greatest and purest sense, and you might be dazzled at the impressive extent to which you're able to bring this energy through. Despite your immense and impressive ability to be energy conduits, your chakras are still occasionally in need of certain expansions or upgrades that help them bring this energy through in an increasingly pure way, and if we haven't stressed this enough by this point, this is what happened for our reader and plenty of others who wonder exactly what it is they experience when they witness this bold phenomenon. A portal to the other side. We also want to let you know that if you let it, the upgrade you're witnessing can allow you to perceive the higher realms in a very clear and pure way by actually traveling into them. If you meditate on this addition to your crown practically endlessly, you'll eventually be able to travel up through the opening and perceive a higher state of consciousness. The experience will be very intense if you do this, and even though one should be careful with their kundalini, we recommend you practice raising your kundalini before you attempt to travel through this opening. This is because you might not yet be ready for the intensely dazzling experiences that can result from traveling through this portal, and greeting the bold experiences that result from raising your kundalini will help you prepare. We encourage you to continuously meditate on your crown if you want to feel or access this addition a greater way, and there may be times when you can't feel it, times when you're encouraged to be calm and patient instead of letting the fact that you can't feel it bring you down. As your consciousness and awareness continue to rise, you'll witness and greet various bold things that are related to your evolution and the increasingly pure and refined energy you're being given from various parts of the cosmos, but for now, you're just beginning to feel and express this energy in the intensely pure ways you now have the opportunity to. even though you've brought through a lot of pure energy already, so much that, again, you'd be surprised if you knew the extent of your work. This work has still just begun and you still have a wealth of even purer energies to bring through and express, which this recent upgrade will help you with enormously. One of the best things we can recommend for you and everyone else is to remember to stay focused on the aspects of your ascension that are rooted the most in spirit, in the qualities that can't easily be felt or perceived with your human senses. If you're interested in channeling, for instance, we'd encourage you to practice it a little each day so you can bring through the universally pure energy that's helping you adjust to the increasingly direct roles you're playing in your ascension, which, if we haven't stressed enough by this point, are far greater and more potent than you've let yourselves believe. Many seekers who channel find that their ability is dulled if they don't practice it a little each day, and the same can be said for any creative or spiritually oriented pursuit. If you want to continue to feel the sometimes bizarre sensations that come with accessing this expanded aspect of your crown chakra, you'll want to practice feeling it. Do what you can with the tools you have. Use visualization, affirmation, and other spiritual tools to help you perceive it in a pure and direct way, and even on days when you don't think you have the time or energy to access it, do what you can to make a connection. In doing all of this, you'll find that you're easily able to perceive your crown's addition and various other bold things that'll leave you surprised and perhaps amazed, and with everything you do, remember that you have the assistance of higher dimensional souls who wait for you to ask for their assistance so they can help you with any given aspect of your earthly mission. If you require assistance with perceiving this expansion, call on your higher self, your guides and the rest of the company of heaven for the loving assistance they happily offer. They'll be with you in an instant if you call on them, and they'll help you witness a plethora of other phenomena that'll introduce you to the reality of everything you've begun to learn and empower. Because of the ascension phase you're currently in, and especially because of the increasingly pure phases you'll greet as your vibration continues to rise, many of you could begin to notice explicitly pure, direct and maybe even intense visions, feelings, sensations, etc., that are related to your ongoing rise into the higher realms and everything that comes with it. You're expanding and refining your ability to feel and express the pure energy you're being given in every moment, and we'll make our final expressions for this communication with encouragement to keep going. You only have so much time on your little blue world to create all of the changes that need created, and perceive all of the amazing things you have the potential to perceive. So let yourselves embrace spirit when you could otherwise embrace the dullness and spiritual emptiness that come with feeding the ego. Despite how hard the ego strives to keep you from discovering and accessing the purer vibrations you can now access, you're on earth for a far greater purpose than to continuously feed it. You're on the earth to create all of the spiritually inspired changes that need created, and with the love and support of the entirety of the company of heaven, we are confident that you'll achieve your respective missions with grace and ease. As long as you can feel just as confident in yourselves, you'll have little difficulty changing your planet. Thank you to my higher self and spiritual guides. Channeled through Wes Anak. cultureofawareness.com